Mr. and Mrs. Adventure Game and all the ships at sea. This is Quest,
the Adventure Game podcast, broadcasting live
in front of a grand studio audience in the Studebaker Theater in New York, the greatest city in the world.
The Big Apple. Why haven't we done a live one of these yet? I guess it's just hard to do live podcasts because everyone just has to have their podcasting device in their hands at the time.
Yeah, we need to. Have you ever gone to one of those silent podcast parties where everyone's just sitting at a booth with headphones on, listening to different podcasts?
I'm actually at one right now, and everyone is really giving me dirty looks for talking. I think that apparently this is not the etiquette. I misunderstood what the party was.
And you know what? I'll say it. I'll say it now. You invoked it, Jess. I'll put words to it. If you're somebody booking for an adventure game convention, we'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do our first live show. Yeah. Put us up.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can't afford to put us up, pick one of the two.
Yeah, pick your favorite.
Yeah, we're not asking you to choose favorites here, but if you can only afford to, if you can't bring Quest to your convention, but you think you can afford Quest, just send us an email and just tell us which one of us you want. We'll be there. Ben's rate is slightly higher than mine. Don't let that influence your decision making process. But you can get me a little bit cheaper.
But I come with I come with my live band that plays that plays the Quest theme, because the theme that plays that's played live every week.
Yeah, you know what's wild is it's a 5-piece band. Everyone is on keytar synthesizers, and it looks so cool. I wish that we could do video because they're all back there and they have 80s cyborg looking sunglasses. It's almost like a Devo vibe, but not derivative. I think that's what I really respect about it. Like, a lot of people, sort of rip off the Devo look and sound, but I mean, they're doing their own thing. In a lot of ways, it makes me wonder, did these guys inspire Devo? You've got to go see Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, I know you're not a Marvel guy, but I think there's something in this one for everyone. They got Spider-Man back for this one.
They got Spider-Man back?
They got Peter Parker.
The last Spider-Man I saw, he couldn't make it.
No, they got Spidey back. They got Peter Parker. They got the old man from the Six Flags commercial that does the dance. I'm interested. They got him in there, and it's wild. Not the villain. Spoiler alert: he is not the villain, but he's not the ally you think he is either.
Okay.
They got Batgirl, which was surprising to me. I did not think that you would be able to. But now it's the multiverse, and their incursions, and just anything can happen. And the fight scene between the Six Flags guy and the Batgirl, unbelievable. Unbelievable, Ben. You wouldn't believe it.
I will not be seeing Spider-Man: A Brand New Day.
First of all, it's just Brand New Day.
Well, no, in Chicago, it's A Brand New Day. That's what they call it.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
Our movie theaters.
Well, you guys probably have bigger marquees. We have
Odyssey. I haven't seen the Odyssey yet. I need to join the discourse.
Yeah, no, I
need to join the discourse.
I think I have opinions on it, but I want to make sure they're informed. I do want to be angry about it online. I'm just not sure which side of it to be angry about.
Yeah, I hear it's good and also loud.
Yeah, no, I like a good loud. I got to hear a little bit of it during some of the quieter scenes of Spider-Man Brand New Day today. And from the next theater over, and it sounded really intense. There were lots of I kept hearing the creaking sound of wooden horses. At one point, I heard somebody just like smacking their lips like they've been eating lotuses. They're just at one point there's this like
you heard a beautiful siren song.
I did. At one point, it was like I heard this gushy stabbing sound, and I'm like, that sounds like someone getting stabbed in the eye. Not two eyes either.
This is I'm workshopping this. Jess. I'm workshopping this. Is I have like in Seinfeld how like George had like his joke he was going to yell at the movies to really get a big laugh from the audience. You know that
I
episode?
remember the premise. What was the joke?
He yells when the Hindenburg explodes. He yells, "That's gotta hurt."
I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And so I've been cooking up a joke to say during the Odyssey myself, which is I'm not quite sure when to say it, but I know that I'll know the moment when it arrives. I'm gonna stand up and turn around. I'm gonna get a seat in the front row. I'm gonna stand up and like turn around and like kind of have my arms out, like like I'm about to tell a joke. Like I'm doing it right now, and if you're listening, like you kind of know where my arms are. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go. What is this? Hades, the game on several video game platforms.
It's pretty good. I do think you want I mean, I don't. Ben can't give you notes.
I've been working on this. I've been sharpening it. The original version was way messier.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I think it. I mean, the joke is there, but I do think it needs tightening.
No, I think it's tight.
How about this? What the hell is this? Hades? Because then you have like the double.
But then people might just think what like Hades the place. See, yeah. I have to specify. This is why I've already gone through every permutation of this. This is something I've been working on. I've been working on this since.
You're a professional.
I studied at the Second City.
Yeah. But he couldn't get into the first.
Oh, brother.
Ben, let me tell you, it's funny you should say this because there was someone who had a great joke at the beginning of my film today, Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Spider-Man A Brand New Day?
Yeah. So weirdly, I don't know why, the theater is full of men in their early 20s. And me, an old man in my family. But as soon as it went to like the Marvel title card where you're like pages are flipping and all that sort of stuff, someone in the front row loudly proclaimed, "Oh shit, this isn't Harry Potter." And then another 20-year-old guy behind me yells, "Sit down, asshole." Or I'm sorry, it wasn't that. It was shut up, asshole. My bad. Yeah. It was shut up, asshole.
Yeah. I'm on the guy's side.
Yeah. No, it was pretty, because it wasn't good. I mean, that isn't a great joke. But
I mean, because that joke you could just say at any non-Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, and maybe it could work if Harry Potter were currently in theaters in some form.
Or maybe at like what were the spin-off movies like Fantastic Beasts?
Yes,
like you can say that like you're watching it and then like the credits start and you go, I guess that wasn't a Harry Potter because Daniel Radcliffe and the gang weren't in it, I believe.
I mean, how about this? Let's workshop this other guy's joke. If this had been a Doctor Strange movie. Because now you're dealing with a wizard.
There's some
there's connective tissue there at least.
Did you get this guy's number? Did you get his name, number, email, any contact information so we could have a discussion with him? Maybe have him call in. He could be a guest next week.
I started trying to airdrop episodes of Quest like all through the movie, hoping that like that would somehow get his attention. But I don't know if he took them. Also, I don't know how AirDrop works. So I was just kind of pointing my phone at him and just clicking at it.
I believe you and I both have Google Pixels.
Well, that's why it didn't work. That explains everything.
All right. So this week we're trying something different, which is that, Jess and I don't like to be strong-armed. But you know what? Somebody had a request. Somebody said something where it's like, Yeah, listen, I like the "What have you been playing" music, but it does, like, if you keep talking, it plays for a very long time, and it kind of can drive one nuts. And that was actually a thought that I started to have as the
Yes.
person that edits these episodes and listens to them, like, and, like, listens to it. I started to think, like, maybe we should, like, if we're gonna talk about what we've been playing for a while, um that might so we're gonna instead play a chime leading us into it, and if you have any favorite chimes, send them along to us. Maybe we'll use them. I'm not married to this chime, but it is a favorite. So Jess, speaking of chimes, what have you been playing?
Wind chimes.
Oh, hold on, let me just keep that repeating while you're talking.
No, wait, I don't think this is what they meant. No, Ben, I think the idea was like there wouldn't be a looping sound. No, I think it was more like we were going to use like a fanfare to bring us into the segment. Like, no, I think this is actually worse. This could really drive listeners away. No, Ben, I think there's been like just a failure to communicate here.
All right.
Cool
Jess,
hand
what
loop.
have you been playing? I don't know. I feel kind of naked.
I know. Now I feel like there's a lot of
weird.
pressure on me. Like before, I was like, if I don't have anything interesting I've been playing, at least there's the music.
Yeah.
No, that's worse though. I feel like that's more distracting than the old smooth jazz. You look like you're about. Okay. I hate to do that. I hate to do this, Ben, but I have been playing a game that I played a fair bit of a few years ago and then walked away from and have gotten back into. I've been playing the deck building game Marvel Snap. I know I've already talked about Marvel crap already, but
Boo!
I know. I am playing a lot of Marvel Snap, which I've mostly been playing on mobile, but it's also on Steam and elsewhere. It's a free to play deck builder, and if you like cards, it's got so many cards. If you like currencies, you wouldn't believe the number of currencies this game has. There are tokens, there are credits, there are gold bars, there's energy, there is every kind of currency you can imagine. And you know what, Ben? Some of those cost real world money if you really want to.
Way.
No, I'm telling you, like if you were willing to spend a little bit of money, you could really have fun with this game. But I will say, in its defense, I really like the game. It's got a lot of fun Marvel theming, and as someone who's never really played other deck builders, it feels incredibly novel to me. I'm sure that every trick it's using is a trick that Hearthstone and a million other computer deck building games have already used and perfected, just with the code of Marvel stuff on top of it. But I will say, in the world of free to play mobile games, they've actually created a framework that works relatively well without being pay to win, which I respect that. Like I'm able to compete pretty well with a deck that was barely in the meta 3 or 4 years ago, and still come back in with people who have several years of new card pulls on top of me, and still win a decent number of my hands.
So I guess my question is that revisiting this game because this came out like 2-3 years ago, right?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's been out for a few years.
But yeah, revisiting this game a few years later, what like is it fundamentally the same? Have they made that many differences? Like you say that the gameplay is still good. Like I assume like if you're keeping this deck builder game and it's active and it's and they want to keep making money, they're probably cycling in like new cards and new abilities and new modes or whatever. Like is it like how similar, and do you feel like do you kind of go like, I kind of miss when it was launched, or has it really like refined?
To me, it feels more like a refinement and sort of a series of different deck styles. Like there are two or three deck styles that didn't really exist when I played, that the addition of new cards has created different kinds of opportunities. Like there are decks when I played built around your ability to move cards around on the board. Others, you empower cards by discarding from your hand, all the sort of tricks that these deck builders use. And they've added a few more viable strategies to the game with new cards. But at the moment, it doesn't feel like any one of those is so overpowered. And I will say, I believe it's developed by Second Dinner, is the name of the people running it. Most of the real world cash stuff is largely cosmetic stuff. It's about getting, like prettier art on your cards or shiny borders or all the sorts of things that card games always offer
That
you.
stuff is pretty good.
I do like a good shiny border.
Yeah.
Like, if I can get a Spider-Man that has like a shiny web border on his card, that's pretty good. Spider-Man's great. He was in a great new movie, Brand New Day. Or A Brand New Day. The problem is, as I was saying earlier, you guys have such bigger theaters in Chicago. Your marquees can accommodate more letters.
Yeah, we can accommodate that for sure.
Yeah, here, like literally, I will say at my theater, it said Spider-Man : bra was what ours said, which I thought was pretty great. It's like Spider-Man bra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was great because there are a lot of bras in the theater. But I've been playing Marvel Snap. I kind of like it. It's the rare example of a mobile game that I'll actually play. Normally, I just don't use my phone for gaming as much as I do just doom scrolling. So and now I'm Dr. Doom scrolling. Ben, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a game called Against the Storm. Have you heard of Against the Storm?
No.
Against the Storm came out a couple years ago. I remember playing it around its release on Game Pass, and it really didn't do very much for me. There was a piece around its release that was like, oh, this is that, like on I think Aftermath, that called it like, like a really great city builder. And I think it was like, it's like, oh well, like, there aren't that many good city builders these days. Like City Skylines 2 was like a big flop. Like, here you go, here's a city builder. And I played it and I was like, ooh, I love building cities. And it is not a city builder. Like you build settlements, but it's like, I think of a city builder as, like it's not a Sim City.
Yeah.
I felt cheated. I was like, I want to play this. It's like a weird fantasy art Sim City. Sure. And it's been a while since I read that. I could be misremembering what they wrote. Anyway, and so like I played it a little bit and kind of bounced off it. It wasn't what I was looking for at the moment. But it kind of stuck with me in the way that like sometimes you play a game that doesn't hit you right away, but like, like it just kind of sticks to you a little bit. Like you're kind of like, this wasn't, I didn't think this was very fun, but I'm intrigued. You ever have that happen?
Yeah.
And so a couple years later, it was on like it had a pretty good deal on like a Steam sale. And so I was like, you know what? Like this, and it was a very well reviewed and well liked game. It just wasn't what I was looking for at that moment. So I was like, all right, well, a lot of people seem to really like this game. Let me give it another try. And it's a game, it's a game that I get really kind of into now, and play like kind of intensely for like a couple hours, then I put it down and then come back to it a couple months later. It's one of those. What Against the Storm, what I would classify it as, is like to me it just feels like playing an RTS game where you're just focused on the economy of it. So it's like, did you ever like play like, StarCraft or, and think like, this is a lot of fun building all of this stuff. It's a shame that I keep being attacked by Zerg. Like,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and I would get so mad, like in single player StarCraft, Warcraft, anything else like that. I played some Total Annihilation. When you know it's time where like whatever flag went up in your RTS game that says time to send the first wave of bad guys in, and I'd always just be like, why would you do that to my woodcutter? He is out there gathering lumber for me right
yeah.
now. Why you're ruining this peaceful village that I was perfectly managing? Yeah, it ruins it. I don't want
And let me tell
make
you,
craft, not war.
the first thing that you build are the woodcutters,
Mm.
and
Mm.
you assign the little guys running around your little settlement to cut
Zug,
down
zug.
wood. Yeah, and so that's what it is. It like, and what, and what makes it novel is, of course, it has, because it came out a couple years ago, and like Grayson and I were having a very fun conversation about this because he was like, he was watching me play for a little bit, and he was just like, oh, this is such a game that came out a couple years ago. It has like roguelike, roguelike things where it's like each, you build those like settlements, and like there's a like a timer, like you have an objective, and once you've completed it's over, you're out. And like, and that can take like up to an hour or so. Like if you're playing well, which I don't, I assume you could probably do it pretty quickly. I don't do that. But like what, and it's also in a very rogue-like way. So it's like you have these little bite-sized missions where you make these settlements on kind of a dynamic map, which you have to explore, and there are interesting little pockets of resources and dangers and things like that. But none of them are like exact attacks. They're just things that like, might make it so like the morale of your guys goes really low to the point where they start leaving, or like that you start losing food or something. Um and it's also that you like your the things that you build are kind of like, you get a selection of like, here's 4 things, what buildings do you want? And so it becomes about, it's like, oh, what sort of like resource and what type of industry do I want to construct? Do I want to have people grow grain, and then do I want to build a mill to make that into flour, and then do I need to build a bakery to make those into biscuits? And you also
Yes.
have to make sure that you have all of those possible buildings. It's fun. It's a very fun, like it's a very fun game, and because you have like these scenarios that are all like, quote unquote different, but like they're all kind of the same too, in that
Yeah.
roguelike way, where it's like, oh, each one's different. You get a fresh series of interesting challenges, but it's like, yeah, but come on. Like you're like, yeah, sure. But I have it's a lot of fun, and when I get into it, it really like pulls me in. Like I'm really fixated on it until I'm kind of like, all right, that's enough against the storm. I'll see you in a couple months.
It sounds like a game I could get into. Like that.
That's interesting because I would not peg this as a Jess game, actually.
I enjoy RTSs, except for that element of like the combat ultimately become, because I feel like it's a genre where I am being constantly interrupted while I'm building the perfect settlement. Like that is always my beef. Like I enjoy the building up. I don't enjoy the actually taking my stuff into war. And it's always been the frustration with RTS games for me. And yeah, no, that actually sounds like it could be up my alley. I'm looking at it now, and visually, I definitely like the vibe. It's got
Visually, it makes me think of Warcraft 3. Is
absolutely,
when
yeah,
I
it's
see
got
it as that real
yeah.
Warcraft 3 look. What I would say is that hang in, because also one of the reasons I bounced off is that it is a little intimidating at the start because it's got like a million resources. And
Yeah.
so
Oh,
it's just
good.
like, in order
Now
to
you're
build,
losing me again. Oh yeah,
yes,
no, I'm seeing it up here. Like I'm looking at
like in
the
order to build this,
UI.
build this. In order to build this,
Yeah.
build this. And so it's like, and the only way that you can like get over that hump is just to play it. And the game, once you kind of get into it, it like you figure out how to navigate like the tooltips, and it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like that all becomes very clear and obvious, but it takes a little while. Like a little while. It took me a little while to not be intimidated, but again, I played on easy. I played on the lowest possible difficulty, and I have a perfectly great time. Like,
No, I'm a big fan of the easiest difficulty setting, so you'll hear nothing from me.
well, the fall Steam sale, pick it up. I've
I'm
been
out
playing it
there.
on my deck. It's awesome. It's a very fun deck game. Anyway, uh, oh, you know what? I don't have a chime. I don't have a chime for this. I'm not gonna. But we do have two. We do have a couple comments on Spotify.
Uh-oh. Is that one for each comment?
Yeah, both from Matt here. This one is from the episode I believe 2 weeks ago. Oh wait, no, one last episode. Sorry. Matt says coming soon. If this is on the episode, reading why adventure games suck. He says coming soon. Why podcasts suck by Dr. Jess Morissette.
No,
Are you working on that?
I've been we've been critically assessing why our podcast sucks. Like right now, I think the leading issues were the looping music and discussions that don't have anything to do with the game we're looking at.
Well,
So
fortunately, we've been on that today.
yeah.
But then Matt, this one is I'm a little more interested in bringing up because this is actually I think a little more of an interesting discussion, and it will tie into the theme. So everyone, calm down. Which is Matt says on your solo episode, the episode where you discuss the Sierra syllabus, very very cool episode.
Oh, thank
Matt
you.
says your stance on Escape from Monkey Island completely sums up my feelings about that game. Basically, overhated. Thank you.
Well, there you go. I'm glad that other people out there are also in the Escape from Monkey Island could be much worse. I mean, as I said in that episode, the worst Monkey Island game is still better than the average adventure game. Now, whether it's the worst Monkey Island game, it probably.
Oh, I absolutely think it is the worst Monkey Island.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely below 1, 2, and 3. It's
below
probably. It's below Tails.
And it's below Return. I know you're a little like you're kind of soft on Return, but I like Return.
Yeah, no, I mean they occupy a similar spot for me. But even then, like I said,
wow, no, I think Return's way better.
I don't know, Ben. We need to, first of all, we should do an episode about the Secret of Monkey Island.
Great.
And then we should do an episode.
That's another chime. I think that chime's too long. I think
our list is a chime and more like a fanfare, like a transition.
I could see that.
Yeah, like
that. Friend of the podcast.
What if we added lyrics to that?
And previous guest, I believe, Papaya chemist. She said that she's aligned with you on Escape.
You got to revisit it, Ben. You got to revisit it.
Well, no, I have revisited. I've revisited it on my stream. We played it when we played through. I am not an Escape from Monkey Island fan.
You just start playing it on PlayStation 2 is the problem. That's the definitive version.
That must have been it. I have a couple, and we'll get there when we get there because there is going to be like, and I will revisit. I'll have to revisit the game when we do. But I also like, at the same time, I think you're way too hard on Return, which we were talking about a little bit before we were recording this podcast.
I was just ranting.
But yeah, I mean, I have my criticisms, but you know what? I think we have a whole bunch of Monkey Island podcasts we got to get to. And speaking of, I had to go with this version.
I like it.
Not the the Roland MP. I had to go. This is the one that I hear. That's right. Today, we're talking about The Secret of Monkey Island. At long last, this is the 90th episode.
It's hard to believe there were 90 adventure games that we thought were more immediately necessary to cover before we got to this one.
This is the 90th episode of this podcast. I don't know if I'm counting with Chevy Chasers, which I don't know what I'm even talking about. But,
yeah, come on, yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about here. But 90th episode of this podcast, maybe 92nd, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe 93rd?
Welcome to our 100th episode, and to celebrate, we're talking about The Secret of Monkey Island.
But yes, we were talking about, why adventure games suck. The essay, the manifesto,
the screed
from Ron Gilbert last week, where we kept inching towards this discussion. Like we kept getting close.
We'd walk up to the edge and then back away from it. And we figured, why not just go over it in a barrel of monkeys?
Oh, I was going to say a barrel of laughs.
No.
But yeah, you know what? Like, I think we've said this already. We have been very tight-fisted with our Lucas episodes. And without giving too much away, that fist is definitely going to be loose next week as well.
It's losing its grip. It's losing its grip. I mean, next week we're doing Space Quest 4, but the week after that,
yeah,
I have a feeling that it could be back to LucasArts.
But and I think part of it is that, like, there's just so many fucking Sierra games, and there's so many like other games, and it's like the Lucas games have there's less of them, and they're also like the ones that are revered so intensely that it makes it kind of makes it a little tougher. It's also, so much has been said, right?
Yeah, it's like, you probably don't need us to come in here and say, it's like, you know what? We've played The Secret of Monkey Island, and this game's really good. You should play it. I feel like that's probably been said and probably known by a lot of our audience. Ben and I have occasionally joked, sometimes when you're streaming games, like, it's great to play a good game that you can just really enjoy streaming, and it kind of goes smoothly, and you're having a good time, and it's funny, and it's doing everything it wants to do. But sometimes those bad games where it's half broken are fun their own way. The problem with like LucasArts games is a lot of them these adventure games are so tightly designed, so good. You're just kind of like, yeah, this is good. That was a really good joke. Yeah, that was a good scene. That was a good puzzle. And, I hope we don't end up just spending this whole entire time saying, it's like, you know what? The three trials were really a great design choice.
Yeah, we're the Chris Farley show.
Yes, that's right. You remember when Guybrush dug up the treasure of Melee Island, and it was just a T-shirt.
Yeah,
it's cool.
But but yeah, so we talked about that manifesto last week, and when we were talking about what we would do this week, it just felt like, yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to finally. I think that this was also one of my pitches for what we'll do for the 100th if we do anything special. And now I'm like,
Uh-oh.
like I lost
Uh-oh.
my good pitch.
Yeah. Now it's going to be Police Quest 4. Way to go, Ben. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. But
Let's do Mist again. Mist was really good. Do you remember
that
we
would have
played?
That would have been a good 100th episode too. But I don't think either of us knew.
Yeah. No, you don't know until you know.
You don't know until you know. You don't know. See, what you have to do is you have to orient the observatory to turn, and it gives you hints that kind of let you into the anyway. So all right. Secret of Monkey Island. Let's walk through it. One of the things that I've always appreciated about Secret of Monkey Island, one of my absolute favorite things about the Secret of Monkey Island, and it's my favorite of the series. It is, for me, it is the number one. It's probably, I would go Secret and then Curse.
I think I'm the other way around, but
you go Curse, Secret.
It depends on my mood. Like, it is like 1A and 1B at some level for me. It is so difficult to choose between them. And I think part of it, even though now this is no longer a differentiating factor, at the time, so much of it was friend of the pod Dominic Armato's performance as Guybrush in Curse that just took a series I already loved and made me fall even more in love with it. And of course, now, thanks to the special editions of The Secret of Monkey Island, we now have a terrific performance from Dominic on Monkey Islands 1 and 2 as well.
And a bunch of other real, like, ringer voice actors in there too, who are all like giving their A game. And of course they bring Earl Bowen back for LeChuck and so on and so forth. But my favorite thing about Secret of Monkey Island is that it has an atmosphere that none of the other games have. None of them. Not and what's really interesting about Monkey Island as a series is that every single Monkey Island game is completely different, and looks totally different. Not one of them, and maybe that, like, I know, it really annoyed some people on the internet that I would argue enjoy getting mad. Some people didn't care for Return to Monkey Island's art style. I liked it. I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, that is not my issue with Return. No. I think it's a fantastic looking game.
But it is, that might have also been potentially that might have been a reason why they decided to go with such a different aesthetic. Was it's like, actually every single one of these looks very different. The vibe of Secret of Monkey Island is completely unique in the series. No game, none of them ever feel like Secret of Monkey Island again. They all feel a little more similar to Monkey Island 2. And that is because to me it's very dry and very witty and heavier on the atmosphere than trying to make you laugh.
Yeah, it's because it's sparse in some real ways. Like, I mean, it's a game that we remember as maybe one of the greatest comedic adventure games of all time, if not the greatest. But even then, it's not a wordy game. It is so tightly edited, and so, like, even descriptions of the world are straightforward and to the point. A lot of its comedy arises out of the ridiculous situations it creates for itself rather than we're piling straight up jokes onto you, which I appreciate.
I would say there's a couple things that make it really work for me. One is that the art style generally plays it straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Generally. And then when it throws a visual gag at you, like the massive Q-tip,
Mm-hmm.
like, or the enormous and ridiculous banana grabber,
Yes. Or the
like,
bridge troll.
yeah,
I think is one too. Yeah.
when it throws a gag at you, like they're so, or like, the sword trainers, like,
Yes,
you know, like
his mechanical, yeah. No, and it's a good point because I
it
mean,
really stands out. But everything
yeah,
else is very like dry in a
hmm
way that most of the other games always feel a little brighter, a little cheerier, a little sillier.
yeah. I mean, by the time you get to curse, I mean, you expect silly things to happen because it's a world where everything, even the clouds, are a little silly. But you're right. Monkey Island 1, for the most part, plays it straight, which gives those moments really a chance to shine. And I think, I think I speak for both of us here, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, that we are appreciators of the 16 color EGA version of Monkey Island. I mean, certainly I'm not going to kick either one out of bed for eating crackers, but we tend to prefer, I think, the 16 color. Right? Is that your stance as well, Ben?
Yeah, I prefer the 16 color EGA version of Monkey Island. I generally prefer. I think it has more interesting close ups. Not to say that the close
Definitely.
ups in the VGA version are bad. It also has like it has a couple little details that don't make the jump over. One of which is like at the beginning of the game, like the sun is setting over like the bay at Melee Island, and then
Yes.
when you return to it, the sun is completely set. And like that's just a nice little, it's a very nice little touch. It just looks really cool. I can understand why they didn't keep that because it's not necessary, and it was probably, it's like, yeah, we don't like have space for this additional piece of similar art where we could just use one. Um but I think it looks really good. What I would say about the comedy, I was reading up on this because I remember hearing this anecdote years ago, and then I was like, is this just something that I made up in my mind, or is this an actual thing? Is that so? The look of the game is generally very serious, and then yeah, you have this like the really cool, like Steve Purcell, I believe, did the close ups.
hmm
Um, and then the uh a lot of the writing in it are kind of throwaway jokes, like has jokes that just kind of throw away like kind of the comedy, which is, for example, I'm just looking at a screenshot I took as an example, which is Guybrush talking to someone in the Melee Island bar, and it's the pirate missing an eye, and he's starting to talk about how they're all terrified of LeChuck, and you have all these options. What's so scary about this LeChuck guy? How did things get ugly? How did he die? And then the last one is, sounds spooky. Well, I must be going. And that's like like that's what I would say is like just kind of throwing away a joke.
hmm
And this is an anecdote and that I looked up to verify. Unfortunately, this I didn't make it up. Had you heard this? Which was, so this Tim Schafer has said this on a variety of like multiple interviews, which was he's starting at Lucasfilm Games. He's going to Skywalker Ranch. It's like this game you're going to work on. Going to work on this game called like Mutiny on Monkey Island or whatever like the
hmm
original title was. and he's like, okay, and um and this is from like the I read a couple different pieces that had like kind of different versions of the story, but I'm referencing a version that was published in Game Informer a couple years ago. Um, Probably to coincide with like Psychonauts 2, I would assume. Anyway, um, but like he does a lot of research and he reads a bunch of like, he reads Treasure Island and he like kind of prepares himself for like, I'm working on pirate adventure game, and he's both a programmer, but he has like some creative writing classes as well, and he writes some temporary dialogue when coding the game, and it's all like dumb little jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And they made Dave Grossman laugh, and he's who's one of the other like writers and designers on the game. And he's like, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just writing these little jokes. Like, this is the temporary dialogue. We'll put in the real stuff later. And then Ron Gilbert looks at it and goes, that's great. Let's keep it. Had you heard that one? Did you know that?
No, I hadn't.
And so like, that's something that texture I think is in the writing of the game, where it's just kind of like, I'm writing this to kind of make myself laugh. Like a little bit. There's a little bit of that. And like in that joke, sounds spooky. Well, I must be going. Like that feels like the kind of joke that you write to just kind of make yourself laugh when you're writing a draft, right?
And then it's funny because then, like, of all those options you read out for that particular choice, that one seems most in character for Guybrush Threepwood. Like a lot of the characterization arises out of those little throwaway bits. I feel like in this game, and I think it's fascinating to me to hear that in the sense that with a design that is so carefully thought out and so much in accordance with those rules for adventure game design that we discussed last episode, having more of that, hey, this is a joke that made us laugh, kind of vibe to the writing, I think keeps it from feeling like an adventure game clock of sorts. It isn't just this like perfectly manufactured set of puzzles that lead you through the game. It gives it a looseness that keeps it feeling fun throughout. Is there any chance that anyone listening doesn't know what the secret of Monkey Island is, Ben?
There's no fucking way, but what is the plot?
I mean, yeah, it's an adventure game from LucasArts released in 1990, designed by Ron Gilbert.
Games.
I'm sorry, Lucasfilm Games. Yeah. My mistake. Already, this is full of.
There's somebody that I would have had to pull out the correction tune.
Yeah. But no, you play as Guybrush Threepwood, wannabe pirate. You arrive upon the shores of Melee Island, and you immediately embark upon 3 trials to prove yourself to the local pirate leaders there. Along the way, you will meet Governor Elaine Marley. You will learn of the evil ghost pirate LeChuck that is a scourge to the Tri-Island area. Eventually, you yourself, upon gaining a crew and a ship, will set sail for Monkey Island in search of its mysterious secret. But can you stop the evil LeChuck before he does the unthinkable, before he marries your beloved Governor Elaine Marley? Is that pretty much the game?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's most of it.
It's
it's interesting to me too. You mentioned mutiny on Monkey Island. And before the podcast, I went back and I was reading some of those design documents.
Oh, yeah. Those design documents are really interesting. Like the pitch document that they had there, where it was just like, because like Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island and Zach McCracken, and I think, isn't there like one other one that they didn't make?
I think so. Yeah.
It's been a minute since I looked at that.
Yeah. But it's fascinating because, like, to look back on it, Ron Gilbert's earlier plot, sort of his plot pitches for Mutiny on Monkey Island, have some of the DNA that eventually ended up in the game, but are also quite different in some ways. Like in one of his early drafts, the name Guybrush Threepwood famously came during development
Mhm.
as a product of the file name that was being used in what Deluxe Paint or whatever program that they were using.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Deluxe Paint.
Yeah, yeah. Please don't send us corrections if I'm wrong on that. But the original name of the protagonist was Smear West, Captain Smear West.
I don't think I remember that. I
Smear
know I've read this, but
Smear West. And what's fascinating to me, the original pitch was he was a washed up pirate. He had already been a pirate and had suffered a series of defeats. And now he's a down on his luck pirate who's arrived upon the shores of Melee Island. And his quest at some level is to restore his reputation and find the fabulous treasure of Monkey Island, which the Governor Fat, in the mutiny on Monkey Island, has sent him in search of. And
well,
we'll later see
that's a joke that was so good they had to bring it back.
that's right. When you got gold, like Governor Fat, you got to bring that back for the sequel. But yeah, even like the idea of a love interest or Elaine really wasn't part of those early drafts at all. And it's and eventually the design document goes on. It turns out the governor knows that the mystery of the treasure of Monkey Island is that there is no treasure. It's a wild goose chase meant to draw pirates to Melee Island as part of this sort of search for a treasure. It's got some of the elements, but it's hard to imagine a version of like how different is Monkey Island if you're like a down on his luck failed pirate who's trying to score big one last time versus young, impressionable, stars in his eyes, Guybrush Threepwood.
It's funny because it's like it they come from the same kind of well
Mm-hmm.
of like they're kind of adjacent ideas, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like it was his name Dash Rendar. What's his name?
It's a classic Dash Rendar.
What's his name again?
Smear West. Smear, Smear West.
Did George pitch that one to them? Hey,
Probably.
I've got an
I got a
idea. Here's I see you're thinking about making a pirate game. I
Yeah,
have several
absolutely.
pirate
George,
names.
please. Yeah, no, sir, go ahead.
Smear West.
I'm sorry.
Smear West.
Smear like I smear like butter on my toast.
Okay, off I go.
What? No, George,
Whoop. He opened up an umbrella and he Mary Poppins away.
yeah. No, I mean, which if you read any of the histories of the development of Monkey Island, they talk a lot about that. George was like in his Mary Poppins phase.
Yeah, that was. If you go to the George Lucas Museum of Narrative Art or whatever in Los Angeles, there's a room full of umbrellas.
It's in the Newt Reagan wing of the George Lucas Museum.
Anywho,
Hey, I'm sorry. Wait, for all the Star Wars heads, Newt Gunray. I'm so sorry.
oh
Newt Gunray.
brother,
Wow.
you dodged just a
man.
fucking bullet.
Ben, could you please edit that out?
No, that's
Please.
staying in. As I said, I only edit out when I make mistakes, other than that one. But remember that Grayson was pointing a gun at me.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, I mean, it is fascinating because there are a few different versions of this document. You can find them on archive.org. And as it gets a little further along, the pieces start to come together. I mean, from what I can tell, Elaine is a very late addition to this game. But yeah, I think she hasn't come along until a treatment called the New Monkey Island after they've moved on from the mutiny.
I like the new Monkey Island. Like it's like a revival sitcom in the 80s or early 90s. It's like the New Monkeys. the new, like, the new
It's
Brady Bunch, like the new, like, it's like, all right, well, listen, we're just gonna bring that concept back, but just with the unappealing new cast.
you know, one of my favorite bits in one of these documents. First of all, there's a voodoo priestess that you're rescuing in one of these versions, but in the like rundown of what each scene and what all the major puzzles are, eventually at the end of this design document, it gets to roll credits, and under that it says everything done by Ron Gilbert with no help from anyone else.
I
And that's true. I subscribe to the auteur theory of game design. And as far as I'm concerned, if anyone else did work on this, they're below mention.
now, so one, uh I mean, one of the truly great things and why, like, Secret of Monkey Island is so immortal is that it is obvious that all of, like, it's a very interesting thing to put out, like, it's like to put out in, what is it, like the Journal of Game Design or something, like, what is it
Yes.
called? Like,
Yeah, the Journal of Computer Game Design.
yeah, to put out, like, it's like, all right, here's my theory of what makes, like, why adventure games suck and what we can do to make them better. It's one thing to do that, and then it's another thing to, like, take all of the concepts from that and then make them work. And I think the reason that this game, like, among many things, is like, so beloved is that it does fulfill the, like, the many things of that manifesto. Obviously, he's working on it
Yeah,
simultaneously.
it's like a chicken eating an egg. They're
Yeah.
happening at the same time. It's funny you mentioned that, and then I think like at some level, maybe this is almost like proof of concept of these rules of adventure game design. But then it's just like, I think back to Daddy George, to George Lucas, and his approach
Oh,
of like,
hey,
well, oh,
are you going to use that name, Smear West or
oh
whatever?
yeah, no, absolutely, George. And I was just thinking,
Yeah,
when you made Star Wars
yeah,
Episode 4,
yeah,
and you talked a lot about how you looked at the Joseph Campbell monomyth and you
yeah,
really almost used that as an exact,
yeah,
roadmap for how this story would be told,
yeah,
and how you successfully followed those steps and had a really a hit movie that really changed a lot of lives and created a cultural phenomenon.
yeah.
That was great. Well, see you later, George.
Off I go. Whoop.
But no, I mean, it is kind of funny that, of just sort of this game taking those steps to good adventure game design and really, yeah, just sort of functioning as a proof of concept of, you can make a really tightly designed adventure if you think about these things rather than just designing by the seat of your pants, which I think was a much more common trend in adventure game design at the time.
Well, as I was discussing last week, this is, they're at Lucasfilm Games, they're really well positioned to, like, to really think about design in a way that some other developers at the time likely didn't have the time or the support to, because they're playing with house money. They are working on Skywalker Ranch, and, like, I'm sure, like, they did have, like, deadlines, and stuff, like, certainly, like with Last Crusade, like, that was something where it's like, all right, you have to
Mhm.
do this and it has to come out with the movie. But, like, they're uh they're this group of, weird creative designers and programmers and artists and so on, all that have the benefit of being part of Lucasfilm, which gives them a little bit more cushion, I assume, more so than it's like, Ken Williams breathing down your neck, or
Yeah.
what it was like at post acquisition Infocom, like where Activision is like, okay, well, can you make like a bunch of games this year as opposed to 2 or 3? Like all of a sudden, like, like the circumstances are different. And that's, I'm just talking about those 2 companies, but there, several others where now you have this company where they kind of have a little bit more free reign, they have a little bit more space to play around, and so you have a really thoughtful designer like Ron Gilbert, who obviously is interested in adventure games and he's playing them. He's pissed off. like,
Yes.
like
Like any good adventure gamer, he
what are you
oftentimes
talking
finds
about?
himself.
Adventure game people do not complain.
There's nothing we hate more than the adventure games and adventure game fandom.
Is
No,
there
I
a
mean,
fandom that loves like mostly loves the thing that they're fans of?
oh, that's a good question. Like, are there uncritical fandoms? I mean, there's certainly pockets of every fandom
Oh, for
that
sure.
there are Facebook groups. It's like, listen, we won't listen to any negativity
Like
about the
total no
news.
bummers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But no, I'm trying. I wonder who are your most positive? Okay,
Like or like the ratio
yeah,
of like,
mhm,
people that like a new thing comes out, a new episode of this thing
mhm.
comes out, and everybody's just like, another great one.
What if I pitch to you, like, if we assume this is a continuum, there is no perfectly content fandom and there is no perfectly angry fandom. How about Weird Al fandom at the
Ooh.
high
I got
end of
it. Yeah,
something?
no. Wow, Jess, that's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah,
Holy shit, Jess.
yeah,
Yeah, weird.
yeah,
Like, I mean, certainly there are like there are absolutely people who are probably like, it never got better than Eat It.
yeah,
But like, or like, because Weird Al strikes me like as a guy where it's like probably like there's the probably his biggest, what? All right, here's the thing is I think that a lot of people like Weird Al and that his fans love everything he does.
yes,
Whereas it's like a lot of people like Star Wars, but the
yes,
fans hate Star Wars. Whereas it's
right.
like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, Jess, you're totally right. Because it's like, what I was saying before was it's like most people probably just like whatever Weird Al like, hits came out when they were 13. Like,
Yeah,
certainly that's the
that's
case
the
for me,
golden era. Yeah,
where I'm just like, yeah, it's Amish Paradise. Like, yeah, like that's it.
yeah. That
And
was his new stuff to me. I'm like, I don't know, I like the old stuff better.
but but I'm also not like a Weird Al like fan. Like I like
Yeah,
Weird Al. Like, and I like I've had the opportunity, like obviously he comes to Chicago. I have not seen him, but I should see him. I hear his concerts are incredible.
fabulous,
Um
fantastic.
but I don't think I've met a single Weird Al fan that is like, yeah, like, like he had this run of like, like these like 3 albums, like he really kind of lost it. Like they're all just like, yep, no, another like series of bangers. We love you, Mr. Yankovic.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the one.
Shit, Jess. Holy shit.
Now, Tad, it's the only positive, and I will say I know this in part because when I was like doing some googling around when I saw Weird Al a couple of months ago in concert, Reddit started sort of surfacing his subreddit to my front page.
And you're
And
just like, and they're all like, oh yeah, like this fucking asshole. Like, oh, I ran into Weird Al outside of the concert.
yeah,
He flipped me off and he said, like, yeah, enjoy some laughs, you prick. Then
yeah.
like,
No, I mean, everything in there is just like, this is wonderful. You know, I saw him live with 6 generations of my family and we all cried and just like, and not in that toxic positivity way you get in some fandoms either, just like in a really genuine, like, hey, this is a guy who seems like a pretty nice guy whose work we really enjoy. Let's share it with other people who enjoy it. It's magical. It's like it's the one internet community. Maybe it is the sole internet community where everything's just fine.
we're saying that. I'm sure there's all sorts of forum drama. Like, that
Yeah,
just
there's
seems
like
impossible.
Weird Al circle jerk
Oh yeah,
subreddit somewhere where everybody's just yeah. Hey Ben, do you remember the great episode 30 Rock where Jenna gets normal Al'd?
You know what? I don't recall that one. But that sounds like a lovely plot.
She has like a novelty song she releases about farting or something, and Weird Al takes it and makes like a patriotic anthem out of it. And she accuses him of normal Aling her, of taking her parody song and turning it into a serious piece of music.
It's
pretty good.
It is always funny to, like, you know, that's a premise I never am tired of, is different Al, Al, like normal Al, strange Al, like, you know, there's I've heard and seen a lot of people doing this. But yeah, man, Jess, you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Um
This is what people came for too. Like they're like, this is the greatest adventure game of all time.
Yeah.
I hope they do a little 8-minute run about Weird Al.
Anyway, so that is fascinating. Weird Al. But you know, it is in terms of its design, um you know, it's such, I use this word already, I'm going to say it again, probably going to overuse it. Like, it is so thoughtfully designed, because like the and this is a big thing in why adventure games suck, is like it is very interested in making sure that you know what your objectives are, what you have to do at all times.
Yes.
And like it really sweats making sure that like what you must do is clear to the player. Like, so when I was playing it today, revisiting it for the podcast, and like, so, you know, the very first thing, you know, Guybrush, there's the night watchman, you know, Guybrush says he wants to be a pirate. They have a back and forth. So already we know what his objective is. He wants to be a pirate. And then like the night watchman goes, all right, well, you better go to the scum bar to talk to the pirates there. That's where you should go. And then Guybrush leaves and then like, or starts to go, and then he turns around and he goes, what? And the guy goes, the scum bar. That's where you want to go. Like, it really underlines the very first thing. So you go to the scum bar, you talk to the couple, you know, pirates up front, who like, they tell you got to talk to the 3 important pirates in the back, but then they fill in there's a scary pirate, LeChuck, and he's the bad guy. So we start to get our exposition there.
You get some world building. We also get sort of a sense of just how serious or not serious this pirate setting is in the conversations with those pirates.
You got Cobb, who's hilarious. They ask me about Loom Guy.
Yeah. Oh man, Mancomb Seep Good.
Ugh.
That joke hit so good for me the first time I played Monkey Island, when he's making fun of your ridiculous name, Guybrush Threepwood, and Guybrush asks him what his name is, and he says Mancomb Seep Good. That is so good. It's so good. That's just a good joke.
And so then you go
Arf.
you talk to the dog, and then you go over to the 3 important looking pirates, and asks to be a pirate, and they kind of hem and haw over it. There's some pretty funny lines there. And then they're like, okay, you got to do 3 trials. And they outline what the 3 trials are. And then you ask them about each trial, and they pretty much tell you exactly like what you're going to have to do. And they tell
Yeah.
you like where you got to start and what you're like, what you must accomplish. And it's sincerely quite impressive. Like they just go, it's like, all right, well, you have to do this. Okay, well, in order to do this, you have to do like, or you better go talk to this person. Like they give you like just right off. It's like, all right, you have 3 objectives, and here's how you're going to do them. Dan Savage would love it because he says, that's appropriate for lovemaking. Is that you
Yeah.
say what you're going to do and then you do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also have usually 3 trials prior to any lovemaking. That's I think, yeah. I mean, your lover really needs to earn your affection, and oftentimes completing small quests is the way to make
Yeah.
that happen.
Yeah.
Um, but and I think what's great about it too is it does this. I feel like without it ever coming across as hand holding.
No.
Like it doesn't feel like baby's first adventure game. It's just like, these feel like conversations that Guybrush would have in this context. Like, we decided to dig up a treasure. Can you give me some like clarification on that? And just that effort to, again, drive home that this is what you're doing. I mean, even the chapter is titled The 3 Trials, in case you weren't quite sure that was an important thing that these 3 important looking pirates just told you. It manages to make sure you never feel lost. I mean, even I would say by the time you get to Monkey Island, there I feel like the game has really moved a little bit more away from hand holding. It's a little bit more open, but it's still clear what your overarching goal is, what you're there for, what you're trying to do. Once you get there, it's clear that you're getting a series of small tasks put in front of you that seem to be building up to bigger goals and things like that. So yeah, in that sense, it really does. It's a good execution on these sorts of things that Ron Gilbert wrote about in Why Adventure Games Suck.
And to what you're saying, like, the first time I played it, admittedly as a kid, like I certainly didn't like it I didn't look at it and go like, oh, it's telling me to do that. Like, to your point, it all feels like kind of organic. Like it has all of this scaffolding of like, here's what good adventure game design is, but
Mhm.
it's all pretty well obscured by very entertaining and funny writing in a very mysterious atmosphere.
There is a
Um,
lot of mystery. Like, mysterious is the vibe of this one. I think that's something that I don't know if any of the
there's
other.
very little mysteriousness in any of the other Monkey Islands.
I would agree. And I think it's one of the things that works best for this. And honestly, another reason why I think the EGA color palette, I think that EGA color palette with all of its blues and blacks and everything really heightens that sense of mystery.
I would say that, like, returning to like the color palette thing, I would say one of the like, so the like the VGA version, which is like the canon version, this is what you would like if you buy like the remake, but you swap back, like it will put you in the VGA version. I think the VGA version, as said, I think it looks perfectly good. I think
Oh, yeah.
like and get like, if you're going to play like Loom, I'm going to be like, don't play the VGA version. Like I think it makes the game look bad. Um, but uh I would actually say that the daytime Monkey Island segment looks better in VGA, because I think like the bright, like kind of stuff, like it looks a little more washed out to me. It's not bad, but like Melee looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
But Monkey Island, I think, looks a little better when it has
A few more shades of green to work with.
yeah,
I'm
like,
actually looking. I'm comparing the screenshots right now, and I would actually agree. Yeah, I think that like a scene like where Guybrush is standing at the cannon and Herman comes up to talk to him, and it's like the jungle scene overlooking the island. You know, you really get a much better looking scene in the VGA version. I would agree. Yeah, I think that by the time you get to those later parts of the game, but I mean, still, even then, the EGA version,
Oh,
its use of, you know, sort of foregrounding certain elements to frame the scene and things like that. I mean, it's still just a solid design to build on.
and once you get back into scenes where there's darkness, once you get like into the monkey head, like
Mm-hmm.
down to like LeChuck's ghost ship, which like they didn't really modify too much in VGA, which is nice. Like they kept it kind of monochromatic
Yeah.
in VGA, which I think was the right call. Like but like in the like when in the you know, the labyrinth on the way to LeChuck's ship, like then it starts looking really good again.
Yeah.
Um you know, uh one of the things that really hit me kind of thinking about why adventure games suck and the game, and when I was re revisiting it again today, was it has two mazes that aren't mazes, which feel very kind of like a little bit of a tweak
Mm-hmm.
at like kind of crummy adventure game design. Um, because it has two mazes which aren't mazes on both Melee and Monkey Island. There is like on Melee Island, there is like the deep woods
Yes, the
where
do the monkey solution where you are given what appear to be dance steps that are in fact the directions you need to take through this maze.
yeah, or you follow like the owner of the shop.
Yes.
Like you have multiple like because you go there to pick up the flowers, you go there to do the monkey and you go there to find the sword master. Um and that's like you are for two of those you're led, and to get the yellow flower petals, like that's like the second screen, I think. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not you're not like because I remember playing that as a kid, and I remember just kind of wandering around those woods and getting lost and being like, okay, well, when am I going to find where I have to go? You know, like in the
And
way
certainly
because
adventure
I don't,
games up to that point had kind of trained us to that. I mean, even again, it's not a
or like
maze, but
Zach
even
McCracken.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, Zach McCracken's a literal maze, but even a game like, you know, I think of like King's Quest 1 and 2, where a lot of it's just like, I guess I'll just roam around these nondescript forest scenes until I see something I can pick up or interact with in some way.
And then you have the aforementioned like kind of labyrinth to get to LeChuck's ship, which you can't even wander. Like it makes no sense. Like it's like you have to like, and this is kind of clever. Like you have to cross one way, so the screen scrolls, and you turn around and exit the
Yes.
same way, and then you end up in a different place. Like it's impossible to map. Um, and again, like when I was playing as a kid, I was like, oh, do I have to like kind of like is this because I see like putting myself in the space of playing it for the first time in the 90s, and having mostly just played like Sierra games and a couple other adventure games. I was just like, oh, this is a maze. I'm just have to figure out this maze because a maze is just a thing that's in adventure games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like no, they are like there are specific like directions that you have to follow to get through, and I just think that's neat. I think that's a like I think
It's
if
a fun
you're
subversion,
yeah.
and it manages to make a maze a puzzle. Like, it would be very easy if you weren't paying attention to the game you were playing to just wander through those settings and not be able to get anywhere. But it rewards someone who is paying attention, who is solving the game, who is, you know, knows that navigator's head does something, that knows that there's probably more to those dance steps than what first appears. That's not just a funny subversion of a treasure map. That's actually useful information. Yeah, all those sorts of things are fun in that, again, they show a level of awareness of adventure game design tropes that Ron Gilbert is bringing to the table that I think a lot of other designers at the time weren't necessarily. I'm not sure how many of the designers at Sierra were avid adventure game players themselves, or how much they paid attention to what was always going on outside of their own work. To the degree, it depends. I think
the
it varies wildly.
Definitely were.
Josh
I
Mandel
was going to say
definitely was.
Josh absolutely was.
I know Scott Murphy has talked a lot about part of the delays on, I believe it was Space Quest 4, was the fact that he was constantly playing. Oh yeah, don't worry. We'll talk about this probably next episode.
Yeah.
But he was constantly playing Monkey Island at the time. So, and you can really see a lot of that reflected in the design for Space Quest 4.
I'm just going like, oh, damn. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
No, but it is interesting to see a game that is almost playing with the genre in a meta aware way when very few were, without seeming like it's somehow a subversion or parody or satire of the genre.
I mean, when I as a kid, so like you get pretty far in the game, you're on Monkey Island. When I played as a kid for the very first time, and I'm on Monkey Island, and like Guybrush steps to the side of the ledge and he falls off, and it gives you like the Sierra death screen. And then like Guybrush bounces back up and he's just like, oh, I'm not dead. Like that made me laugh. I was like, oh my God, can you do that? Like it was, I was just like, oh my God. They went there.
That was, yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, is this allowed? You know, like
I called the police. Just to be clear.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ben, are you playing Monkey Island again? You please stop falling.
Yeah, you called us about a ghost pirate a week ago.
I'm past that part. I'm not scared of him anymore. I figured out how to defeat him.
I am still scared about intellectual property rights, and I believe they've been violated.
They said, "Very good, Mr. Vigeant. We will. We're on the way."
Mm-hmm. And that was how Ron Gilbert ended up doing a nickel in the federal pen.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and we have to talk about, like I was talking earlier about like how much I enjoy like the dryness, and I think you agreed, like, that the writing is a little more dry. A lot of the jokes are thrown away, but when it chooses to be really silly and ridiculous, like for example, like that moment, like when you touch the parrot and you have all new verbs, which is really funny. But the best sequence of this type in the game, which is when Guybrush breaks into the governor's mansion, and he goes into a room, and then we don't see him, and we just see all of the verb noun prompts on the screen. Like, holy shit, man.
And again, that felt like as a kid something that's like what you can do. Like that's something you're allowed to do. Like those aren't verbs that I have access to. Those aren't verbs that are actually in the UI. Those aren't items that I have in my inventory.
Wax lips
on a yak?
Yeah.
No, it was, I mean, a rare moment of legit laugh out loud adventure game comedy for me, playing that for the first time. And it still plays today. It is still just
Oh, it plays wonderfully today. It's still like I think that's just
Mhm.
really it's such a it as a game it has so many fresh ideas even beyond just like the kind of all right we're going to change the way adventure games are like it's just like it does have some very inspired bits and
Yeah.
that includes that includes the insult sword fighting which we have to touch on. I know last week you said, and I understand this, i I think kind of if you know what you're doing, I think you can like it isn't too long. I remember the very first time I did the insult sword fighting, and that did last a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
But also the difference, I've been thinking more about this as well.
the
And
insult sword fighting doesn't last too long.
yeah,
Yeah, keep going.
I've been thinking more about this as well. You know, today it feels like it lasts a little too long because I know the solution, I know where it's going, but also now that I've played this game, I don't know how many times I've played The Secret of Monkey Island. This segment, there's a good chance I've played this 15, 20 times, at least the Melee Island elements of Monkey Island by now. The first time I played this, all of those jokes were fresh, all the sword fight insults and the comebacks. That's something you can't get back, which I think helps probably string you through on a first playthrough. It's like,
It is a
yeah,
little bit. It is a little bit not as much fun as that first time.
yeah. I mean, yeah, the first time you're like, oh, my handkerchief will wipe up your blood. And when you finally get that, it's like, oh, so you got that job as a janitor after all, come back. That's a lot more fun than when you kind of know it's like, oh yeah, the joke's going to be about about cleaning stuff up. I maybe not don't remember the exact phrasing, but I know where this is going. Yeah, that first go around is um, something I think sustains this through what otherwise could feel like a tedious puzzle.
So I'm gonna return to that
Monkey
profile
Island.
on yes. I'm gonna return to that profile on Tim Schafer from Game Informer, which is by Ben Reeves. So I'll give him credit here, just so
Hmm.
this is
We
really
don't normally do that
interesting.
on the pod.
This is very interesting. I didn't know this either, which was quoting from this piece. Later, when the team was designing combat for Monkey Island, Schaefer felt like they hit a wall. Early concepts were based on Jordan Mechner's fighting game Karateka. Did you know this?
Oh wow, yes, I did not know
Uh,
this. I know
and
Caretaker.
featured high, low, and medium attacks that players could counter using high, low, and medium blocks. The team even spent time watching several classic Errol Flynn films for inspiration. However, the group never felt like the sword fighting mechanics were a good fit for their adventure game. Gilbert eventually had the revelation that the dueling mechanics should be based on a war of words. And it goes on, but
Mhm.
you read the story.
A lost mechanic in this game that shows up in a lot of those early design documents as well is Guybrush sailing around and capturing ships, doing naval combat, which of
Is
course
that
would eventually show up in Curse of Monkey Island, but that was in some of the Mutiny on Monkey Island
is that
design.
true?
That is true.
That's
So
crazy.
that would have been another element that they threw out that might have followed a similar.
That must have been around the same. Like those
Hmm.
decisions probably were concurrent, right? Like
Right.
maybe there was. Because when does Pirates come out? Sid Meier's Pirates.
It's been out by that point,
This
right?
is
Like,
like I typed in Pirates game. They lost to the Cincinnati Reds.
oh no, no!
Sid
Spoiler alert.
Sid Meier. No, not 2004.
I know that's all I'm finding too. Oh my lord,
The original 87. So it's
87. Yeah, so
three years. So and
mhm,
that has like and so that does have actual sword combat,
mhm,
ship like captaining, like arcade,
yes,
and then also uh like the governor's daughter.
Yes, dancing with the governor's daughter. Yes. Um, which, yeah, I mean, there's certainly elements of that we see reflected here. Also, I think about something like, I imagine the sword fighting in Monkey Island would probably be built on the same kind of foundation that like the fist fighting in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade probably was. And I start to think it's like, boy, that's nobody's favorite part of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. What a better decision from a gameplay, a storytelling, a world building, just every angle possible to switch to insult sword fighting over those choices.
But then they kept the fucking fights in Fate of Atlantis.
I
Whatever.
know. But we can't relitigate Fate of Atlantis here.
Um, but yeah, like the insult sword fighting is such a cleverly designed and entertaining puzzle, and one that like they return to in Curse and they return to in Escape, both with like diminishing returns. Like in Curse it's cute, but it doesn't really change anything. It just has rhymes.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Like,
just like a new set. It's like you downloaded a new expansion
it's a
pack for insult sword
DLC,
fighting. Yeah.
and
And the
then
Escape has monkey combat, which I think everyone would agree is a clear downgrade.
and then I mean honestly, and that's really a separate. I was referring to because Escape has like the arm wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's right. Insult arm wrestling, right?
And it's actually Tales is the only one I felt of the sequels that attempted to revisit it, because they don't revisit it in any of the the Ron Gilbert sequels. They don't revisit it in 2, and they don't revisit it in Return. If I recall correctly, right? Like there isn't, like, I'm sure they reference it in some way.
Yeah, I mean, there are always jokes like just Guybrush will have a dialogue response like, how appropriate you fight like a cow or something.
In Tales, they do kind of clever kind of combat type puzzles. I was watching you stream it just last night. Like the funny faces and stuff like that. I when I played that, I don't know what your feeling was when you were playing it, but like I thought that was a fun like kind of variation on silly combat, which stood on its, like, it didn't feel like they were remaking it. It just felt like it was like in the same neighborhood
this weird
just like we're doing
this
it
is how pirates have strange ways of settling beef between one another, and this is just another one that this set of pirates practices. And also always like a good gag in a Monkey Island game where Guybrush tries to initiate insult sword fight and someone's like, you're still doing that kid stuff, or just other, like, come on, man, serious pirates don't insult sword fight, we do this ridiculous thing instead,
right? But yeah, I think that's a really interesting, it's just kind of an interesting puzzle, because it's just one that like it's a very unique design. Like it is not like I can't think of other puzzles like that. Certainly up to that
I
point.
can't really either. Like sort of I don't even know what you call that. Like it's a gathering puzzle of some. It's like a trial and error gathering information puzzle. It's a neat design concept,
and they do a decent enough job making it feel fun. And like there's because there's the sequence where you're gathering all the insults, and that that could feel eventually like it's like, okay, like you're looking at your watch and it's like, I just gotta get I just have to get this one insult response, please, like can you please just say it. But then so it does that, and then it throws you at the end boss, the sword master, and she has like her bespoke insults, and
which is an amazing switch up. Like, how clever.
it is such what a great like. And I remember the feeling putting it together the first time. It's like, wait a minute, hold on, wait, I I think I think that the responses still apply. Like when those two connect, like, because at first I'm like, wait,
Yes.
what are these? What am I supposed to do with this? Like, I don't know any of these. Like, because I think like the first thought is like, it's like, oh, this must be some insult that I didn't see yet. And then
Or
it's
maybe this is an unbeatable foe,
yeah.
or something like, maybe I'm not supposed to win here. And then, yeah, when it clicks, it's amazing. And they do a nice job, with the battle against the Sword Master. Some of those comebacks can be used in multiple places. You have like a couple that work for, one of her insults. Two different comebacks can fit in.
Is that true?
It is, yeah.
I
Like,
know
for
that.
instance, I'm looking at the list right now. My name is feared in every dirty corner of this island. You can respond with, "So you got that job as a janitor after all," or "Too bad no one's ever heard of you at all." Both will fit there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's see. Here's a good one. This is actually really funny. "My last fight ended with my hands covered in blood." You can either respond, "I hope you've learned to stop picking your nose," or two, "Your hemorrhoids are flaring up again, eh?" Ooh.
I
Ooh.
don't think I've ever picked the hemorrhoids one on that one. I
It
think
works.
I've
It
only
actually
ever
works.
picked the picking your nose. I've never I am
Yeah.
I never I never put those together, and apparently
Yeah.
never looked at a grid of them.
But that is a nice player friendly decision too. Like, if the player's really struggling now, they're being confronted with brand new insults for the first time. I think there are three of them out of the list that accept multiple options. The last one is, "I usually see people like you passed out on tavern floors," which the response you'd probably put is, "Even before they smell your breath."
Yeah.
But also, what will work there is, "I'm glad to hear you attended your family reunion," which that's really
Yeah,
good.
I think the one like the there is a much meaner option. Like those three
Hmm.
are like, it's like, and then there's one that you probably didn't pick and it's meaner.
Yes, that's right. That's right. As good kids, Ben, there's a reason why we never discovered that those were options. We were a couple of very good boys who wouldn't choose the mean ones.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a marvelous puzzle. I think the game has like, and then I like, and that's the treat of the game is that it is mostly killer. Like, it's mostly good stuff. It's also mostly pretty well clued. Um and like and it doesn't feel like it really, outlasts its welcome, which is another thing from the like, it isn't it isn't short, but like it never feels too long either. It
Hmm.
feels like it is exactly the correct length.
Yeah, and I think we'd be remiss maybe not to talk a little bit about the supporting cast as well. I mean, um, we have Elaine and LeChuck. I feel like in this game, LeChuck, we get the sense that he's you know boisterous, quick to anger. I think his characterization gets a lot firmer in later games, but the foundations of that are here. I really love Elaine in this game. I mentioned last night when I was streaming Tales of Monkey Island. A few years back, I was lucky enough to be offered a chance to write a chapter in a book titled "The 100 Greatest Video Game Characters of All Time," and I made the pitch to the editors. I wanted to write a short chapter about Elaine Marley, is why I thought that, because they pitched me on Guybrush Threepwood, and I said, I actually think Elaine is maybe a more interesting character in the history of video games, and I think that seeing a damsel in distress who is busy saving herself while her bumbling protagonist is playing around with monkeys and stuff is a fun subversion of that.
It is funny in that because this is one of those stories where Guybrush is completely unnecessary to the plot, correct?
But let's see.
Like
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is one of those. But you don't feel cheated, and I don't think you feel cheated in either way of it. Like you don't feel that it's like at the end of the game you like when it's like you get to the end and it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's revealed that like Elaine had this all pretty well in hand. Um
Yeah.
like you know, she's a governor. She's an accomplished
Yeah, of
woman.
course.
Like she's this,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
um, like Guybrush is just a guy that showed up. Like,
Yeah.
what are he just wants to, like he wants to be a pirate.
Yeah. She already is, and a governor,
Like,
and
yeah,
better
like
at
she's already
yeah.
got all her shit together.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
And I mean, Stan arrives fully formed in this game. Just you know, from the amazing plaid jacket or checked jacket, all the way to upselling you as you buy your ship. I mean, Stan for me is a joke that never gets old in any of the Monkey Island games. Like I think annoying salesman, especially as Guybrush becomes increasingly cruel to him as the series goes on, as Guybrush embraces his inner jerk, which you don't see as much
he's
of
much
in
more
this game.
sweet.
Yeah, you don't
He's
see
a
jerk
sweet
ass
he's a
Guybrush in
sweet
this
young
one.
man in this one. Actually, like my takeaway, and we'll get there when we get there, but like my takeaway when I played like Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge was
The sequel to Monkey Island.
yeah, was I don't like how mean Guybrush is. Like I like the balance is a little too like again we'll get there
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a lot more. He's a sweet young man that's just kind of in over his head and doesn't know it
Mm-hmm.
in Secret of Monkey Island, whereas like later on, like by necessity you can't keep being, you know, Carrot in Discworld. Like
Sometimes you gotta be the stick.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry. What's funny is you didn't have to say Discworld. I knew exactly what you meant when you said you can't just always be the carrot and paused. Like I was like, he means
yeah,
yeah,
Corporal Carrot.
yeah, yeah. But no, please.
But like,
He can't be a young newcomer, wide-eyed, you know, on just yeah. You can't do that forever.
but like all the supporting cast, the game makes a point of the two main women in it being like anything but like kind of damselly, but also makes a point of not making them like, you know, that feeling of like male writers trying to write strong women and then just like going too far the other way. At
Yes,
least in my
absolutely.
sense, I'm sure, like, you know, please feel free to disagree because this is all written by men. Um, but like Elaine feels like a like and the Swordmaster who what's
Mhm.
her name? Oh,
Carla.
Carla, of course.
And there's the voodoo lady.
That's right. Yeah. And so she gets the short end of the stick, which they like eventually are like, oh, we should probably give her a name, huh? Like by
Oops.
like,
Oops.
like
Yeah.
that becomes a joke, and then like it's very clear in the later Monkey Islands, they're like, this isn't something we should be like, this is kind of a shitty thing. Like we need to give her a name.
Yeah, we gave everybody else a name.
Like this is like it's like once they give her a name, they're kind of like you could feel them thinking like that feels bad. Like let's fix that. But yeah, like Elaine Carla, and in The Secret of Monk Island, is she referred to as the voodoo lady, or does she just not have a
I don't
name?
know if she ever is exactly. Yeah, that's a good question. I have to look back. I don't know if that's like something ascribed to her later or
like, yeah, but you know who we're like. Those three characters are not like, the problem obviously with the voodoo lady is that they do not give her like a name, which is kind of a classic kind of negative trope. But they you could tell they're trying hard not to make them like to make them to give them a little more dimension.
right. And certainly all of them are smarter than Guybrush at the very least.
I think most characters are.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
most characters are portrayed as smarter than Guybrush.
I don't know that LeChuck's much smarter than Guybrush.
Maybe I think LeChuck is a little smarter than Guybrush.
A little, just a little.
I think Otis.
Yeah.
I think Otis is about par. What's the what
Men of low moral fiber?
What's
maybe dumber than Guybrush.
the guy with the hook? His name is
Meat
probably
Hook.
Meat Hook. I was gonna say
Yeah.
his name is like has the hook in it. He doesn't seem smarter than Guybrush.
Sound off in the comments.
Herman Toothrot. I don't think he's smarter than Guybrush. No, I mean he's pretty clearly painted as a buffoon.
Yes, but very fun.
The cannibals
like
are
the camera.
What?
Like Herman Toothrot's winking to the camera. He's at least meta aware that he's in a video game.
Yeah, well,
does that
Jess, but I mean, Herman, of course, is sitting on top of all of the information that he's also like secretly Guybrush's dad,
father-in-law, right? Isn't he Elaine's dad?
Elaine's dad.
Yeah.
Is that?
I mean, it all makes sense if you piece. Is that an escape? Yeah, maybe it is.
I think that's one of those things. That's one of my problems with Escape. Just to touch on that, is that it just got way too much plot.
Boy, it does.
Way too much plot.
Boy, it does it.
Like, and all of the other games have way less plot, and Escape is just like plot, and I'm just like,
a little less plot, please.
Like, well, you know what I say about.
Yeah, dude. I don't want to jump you. Please, what do you usually say about like the proper balance of plot?
Not too much. Anyway, I think there really is there's so much more to talk about this game. Like when you started talking about Elaine, I was like, yeah, we barely talked about the characters.
Yeah.
I also have in my pocket, we did not talk about how great the music is. I also have in my pocket this. This is maybe my favorite from the orchestral revisit. This version, this piece, because I love what's about to happen. Oh, that trumpet.
That's very good. That's very good.
I love this version of the Guybrush and Elaine tune. I think this is the best. Like all the music in the remake is very, very good. But this is the one I keep going back to. This is my favorite piece.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm gonna play it out. It's not very long.
So good.
We didn't talk about the music, which is all excellent. One of the other things I love, I'm sprinting now because I do think, but one of the things I love about the game, again, in terms of like it has a very unique atmosphere, So I like playing older adventure games which only have music in certain scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. That actually helps build the kind of mysterious atmosphere for me. Like, um, and I don't think that's anything you could get away with like a year later, let alone today, right? Like everything's got to have music. That's
That's
fine.
right.
The
Fully
music's
scored.
incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
And by the time LucasArts has its iMuse system that's allowing them to like,
do this
seamlessly
really
fade
crazy,
instruments in and out and everything. I mean, they do some beautiful stuff with later soundtracks.
but
But
uh, like I really enjoy, like I really like the moments of quiet in this
yeah.
game because it makes those moments with really beautiful
Mhm.
music like pop out to me. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts on it? Any, because there is a
Something
lot that
about
we didn't talk about.
the final, and who knows, maybe we'll do another episode about Secret of Monkey Island someday. It's possible, it could happen. But something I thought about, and this actually came out of a conversation I was having with my good friend Gareth recently. Gareth's also a listener to the podcast. Hey, Gareth, shout out. But we were talking about what we were describing as the Ron Gilbert rug pull, the
Oh
ending
yeah,
of a Ron
you
Gilbert
were
game.
teasing this when we were discussing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that subverts a little bit of what's come before. Like, you know, famously, spoiler alerts for LeChuck's Revenge. You have this moment at the end where it turns out that Guybrush and LeChuck are little kids in an amusement park, and it's got this sort of rug pull of like, haha, you thought this was a series about actual pirates, you dummy. Um,
You see,
that's
this
my
is
read of
that is
that.
your you are ascribing a motive
I'm a
of
spy.
it.
Yeah.
Like no, let us not.
This is slick Ronnie Gilbert
No,
doing
no,
one of
no,
his
no, no,
rug
no,
pulls,
no.
and then
Keep going without just explicitly saying the idea of the ending is calling the player an idiot, which I do not believe is his intention.
okay. Return to Monkey Island seems to end with haha, you cared about these
I
characters
don't
for
think
decades,
I
you
don't
dummy.
think that is the meaning of it either. I think the ending of it is considerably made clear that it's very sweet.
And then I feel like this game is him, and I think Thimbleweed Park. I haven't finished Thimbleweed Park, but I think it has a little bit
That
of a
one
rug pull.
I'll be nastier about. I don't care for the
Yeah,
end of Thimbleweed Park.
but
So whatever.
I feel like this one's like sort of a trial run of that with the never pay more than $20 for a computer game, which is a hilarious line. But it does seem to be adjacent to, haha, you wasted too much money on this, you dummy.
No.
It's classic Ron Gilbert rug pull.
No. You are
This is my hot
ascribing.
take. This is my hot take. This is my hot take.
No, that's not you.
I don't even know if I believe this take.
You can, because all right, here's uh like I am absolutely aligned on that. He enjoys like kind of a like a weird subversion of an ending, and that is what he does. Like it's very clear that that is
Yes.
what he does and what he likes. um but I like, even as the grumpy gamer
Mm-hmm.
who will write such missives as why adventure games suck, I don't think either. uh, I neither believe that the intention of those is like to tell you to like, haha, you dipshit one, nor was that how I felt.
No,
I
I did not feel
will
that way at the time.
I will agree that he's not always successful with his subversive endings. I will agree that sometimes they like, and we'll get there, like sometimes they may feel more like they they might feel more like kind of clever than they are entertaining or just kind of confusing. But I am not going to ascribe to him
No, I,
like a malicious intent with
yeah,
them. I like listen, I know your little friend Gareth
hmm
loves to pick and fight.
yeah.
As do
It's that
you.
it's that
You're Mr.
wry British
Sweet.
humor.
You're
I'm a
Mr.
provocateur.
You're
I'm a
Mr. Sweet
provocateur.
on the podcast. You're the sweet gentleman. You're a southern gentleman. I'm the guy from New
I
England.
do declare.
I'm the malicious Yankee traitor
Yes.
of old. That's always
Carpetbagger.
that's always trying to cause trouble and
Mm-hmm. With
but
your fast talk and yeah.
but on this, I'm going to say that you know the once the record turns off, Jess is all shit talking, and
Oh,
I'm sweet as a pussy cat,
it's true. It's true.
and then you're bringing your fucking acid tongued British friends who are coming in, and all they could do is wryly and cruelly make fun where I'm trying to support our brilliant creators like Ron Gilbert.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I like
I will say,
obviously
when I was a
I'm
kid,
being ridiculous here.
when I was a kid
Yeah.
and I played Monkey Island 2, I will say the ending at the time, like for me, it was more of like, how are they going to get out of this? Because I was still
Yeah,
in that mode, and I
that
think
was
we
what I
discussed
thought
it
too.
before. It's like I assumed that all adventure games got sequels forever. Like that someday you'd just be on like Monkey Island 46, and that's just how everything would go. And I was like, well, there's going to be a Monkey Island 3. And obviously they're going to resolve whatever this weird, oh, they're kids thing is in Monkey Island 3. So, that's a weird way to end this one. We'll see how it goes. But I think maybe this is a little bit, Ben, I don't know if you're familiar with this reference. In like the online wrestling community, there is a frequent like image macro that's used that it's still real to me.
What is it? 2005?
I'm sorry, I call them image macros. What do you call them?
They are memes.
Well, I don't. It's not a meme though. It's a macro.
Okay.
It's very big. It's all about file size. Memes are 87K or under. This one's 124. Because meme is short for mini macro. That's what meme is an abbreviation of. But have you seen the "It's still real to me, damn it" image that floats around sometimes? Yeah, just look that up, and I think that was my reaction at the end of like Monkey Island 2 and Return to Monkey Island.
I've
What's
never
that?
seen this image macro.
Oh, you haven't? Well, I mean, it's very popular in wrestling. Oftentimes, it's after someone says, something ridiculous about how they can't believe this wrestler would betray their best friend, and someone will respond that like, "It's still real to me, damn it." Yeah, this is how it's like. I want. Just, I want my fun pirate adventure. Don't complicate it with, allegories about what it means to imagine.
I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to put away your childish things, and I'm sending that message over to the British Isles as well.
Wow, read your First Corinthians.
Oh.
That is our Bible reading for this episode. We always include
I didn't know
a Bible reading
that I would come out so strongly for Ron Gilbert rug pulls, which in my opinion he's he's less successful than he is successful with, but I'm going to defend him doing them. Two, I I kind of like, again, this is, we're gonna have a very interesting Return to Monkey Island episode in 5 years.
That's right. Maybe I can take this back to where it all started with Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's co-creator Stan Lee used to say fairly frequently, never give the fans what they think they want, because then you'll always be stuck with the question of, well, then what do I do next? And I do think his willingness in these later years, and I'm joking when I say the $20 for a computer game is a rug pull. That's honestly probably, if you asked me as a kid, like top 5 lines in the entire game for me. I thought that was hilarious. That's just as a non sequitur, good joke. But I do think his desire to subvert how we think these stories should end is an admirable trait in that sense. Like, I mean, you feel like Return to Monkey Island goes out on Ron Gilbert's terms, and you've got to respect that. It would have been really easy to fan service that out the wazoo.
Yeah, and once again, and I think we'll be talking about, some ideas about fan service as we get into the 3 games that he didn't develop of Monkey Islands, and where they're successful with it, and where they aren't. But we're gonna have to leave that as a cliffhanger.
That's you've just been left on a cliffhanger. Sting. Operation Trick Trap.
Operation Trick Trap. I really thought that this would be a shorter episode because of, anyway.
And I don't know what Ben will edit this down to, but recording, we're on hour 7 right now.
So, thank you so much for listening to Quest, the adventure game podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write us a good review. Post about us on your favorite thing where it makes sense. If you just share your
Pinterest,
if you just post like your baby photos like on Facebook or whatever, posting about us there probably doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but if you could like AI a shot of your baby listening to a podcast, and you can clearly see on the phone like our logo, that would go a long way. Or like cat pictures that you've AI'd. I mean, just use AI to promote our podcast, I guess is what I'm saying.
I can't even make a joke like that.
I'm repositioning myself as the bad guy of the podcast.
The bad boy.
Yeah, the bad boy of adventure game podcasting.
Anyway, leave us a nice review, post us about us. You can send us an email at questquestpodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave us a comment on the Spotify. I do check those from time to time. And of course, please join us next week when we finally get to Space Quest 4. All right. So, follow me on this.
Okay.
Roger meets and begins courting Beatrice in Space Quest 5, right? But in Space Quest 9, he's dealing with Zandra. Was Space Quest 9 going to be Roger's midlife crisis?
Ooh, this is a great question. I feel like the bigger question isn't why Roger would have such divorced guy energy in the future. My question would be, who did Beatrice marry after him that she ended up like dressed like some sort of science fiction alien queen by the time we see her in that hologram at the end of Space Quest 4?